It is a beautiful Monday morning. And actually, we are listening to some thunder going out there. So, looks like we're going to get some rain here in just a minute. Bring on the rain. Don't need everything else, but bring on the rain. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. We did. We actually went to Des Moines on Saturday and went to the movie. The Sound of Freedom. We're not going to get in on a big, long discussion on that, but my suggestion is if you haven't seen it, go see it. It is, it's kind of a heavy movie, but it is very eye-opening.
Way more than amazing. Way more than amazing.
And if you ever start looking into, sorry, I've got
a hair in your eye?
I must have. Even the story of the making of the movie, just the obstacles that they faced through it was kind of an eye-opener too. But yeah, so if you can get out and see that, that's a suggestion I would suggest.
It's like you got people coming in. Oh, I look forward to Monday mornings. You know, it's crazy. A lot of people, they don't look forward to the Monday, but I look forward to Monday morning. I really do.
I think I look forward to Monday morning because it's like a fresh start. A fresh start. Last week is over. Let's get busy and let's see what this week brings. And so it's, to me, Monday morning it's just a fresh start.
Well, it is. It's a great time for a fresh start. So what do you have going for us, Rebecca? I know it's you bring the topics, and I help bring in some discussion. So what is our topic for the audience this morning?
So this morning, and you guys, if you guys have any, I want to just say, if you guys have any comments or want to get in on this discussion, just go ahead and mute yourself and we'll talk about it. But this morning we're going to talk about goals and setting those goals. Last week we talked about, time wasters and managing our time to the best that we can. So this week I want to talk about goals and are we setting them big enough? Are we setting enough goals? Are we, there's so many questions behind setting goals. Do you have your own personal goals? If you're in business with somebody, we're married and in business together, do we have our goals together? And so this morning we are going to talk about goals.
I love goals. We've talked a lot about goals in the last several weeks. We've been setting a lot of goals here for the company. We got a lot of goals moving forward for clients that we work with, the goals that they're setting, the goals that they're working through. I think goals are a tremendous topic, Rebecca. I didn't see that one coming. I'm guessing you put an email out, and I need to read the emails.
Yeah, that would be good.
If I read the emails, I'd know what's coming, right?
That would be good.
That's awesome. Okay, so goals. It just so happens I've been working a lot on goals. And those of you who have gone through our leadership training, we do have a goal topic. We have a goal. If you've gone through leadership and sales, you should receive a course called the 5 Mistakes of Goal Setting. And if we're going to talk about goals, I can promise you we're going to talk about those 5 mistakes and how to eliminate those mistakes in your goal setting process.
Yeah.
So why don't you kick it off? What was it that drew you to the goals for our topic this morning, Rebecca?
It's kind of a personal thing with me. And like I said, if you guys want to chime in and talk about yours, but for me, I see the goal, but I have a bad habit of just focusing on today. And sometimes it makes that goal seem further away or a little bit blurry. I don't have it defined enough, but I know that. So I have my today goals, I have this week's goals, and then I have my goals for 5, 10 years down the road.
Okay. Okay. How do you break those down?
Wow. Today's goals are just things I need to check off my list that they could be just little errands. They could be just small little things that I have got to get done today. And for me, it's, we talk about there's looking at the goal 10 years down the road. What do I need to do this year to get closer to that goal?
Well, that's what I was going to say. What are you doing today to achieve your 5-year goal and your 10-year goal? Do you know that the things you're about to do today are going to move you towards that goal?
Well, and that's kind of where I get into the personal part of it, because I forget to do that. I start focusing on the little things that I've got to get done, which have to get done. But then it makes me kind of lose focus on that long-term goal.
I wonder how many other people feel like that. They feel like they're focused on the urgent goals, the urgency right in front of us, and sometimes we forget about what's important and the most important things in our lives.
And life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Life happens, and there's even just even the responsibility of getting the laundry done and the dishes done, and knowing I need to get this done today. And it kind of, I don't want to say interferes with your long-term goal, but it just kind of puts it out of your mind.
Without a long-term goal, though, you don't know where you're going. You have to have a long-term goal in order to have some kind of a vision out there in front of you that you're willing to pursue. I heard it said a long time ago that you are trading your life for something. You are trading your life. You're trading your time. You're trading your days. You are trading your life for something. What are you trading your life for? And in that same process, as we talk a lot about here, what is the value that you're bringing to others in that life that you're trading for?
Right.
Right? So there's an element there that I would challenge us all to think about in the goal process, because this is such an important conversation. You will never achieve anything great in life unless you know how to set a goal, know how to pursue a goal, know how to achieve a goal, and understand the purpose behind goals. Did you know, Rebecca, that actually achieving the goal is not the biggest reason to have a goal? Did you know that? The achievement of the goal is not the biggest reason to have a goal.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. I can see where you're going here.
Okay. Let's cover the 5 mistakes of goal setting.
Okay.
Let's cover the 5 mistakes of goal setting. And here's the reason that I want to cover these 5 mistakes on today's topic, is because the first step in achieving a goal or pursuing a goal is the setting of the goal. So pay close attention to what I said. This is the 5 mistakes of goal setting, which is where most people make their first mistakes in setting the goals for their life. They actually mess up, make mistakes. I've done this for years. I've made so many mistakes just in the goal setting process that I don't realize that's my biggest limiting factor. My biggest limiting factor in the pursuit of goals is the goal setting process. So let's dive into that, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. 5 mistakes. Mistake number 1 is you set goals that you know you can achieve. You set a goal that you know you can achieve. That is mistake number 1. I look at it this way. If you know you can achieve that goal, it's not actually a goal. That's your job. That's what you should be doing anyway. It's not actually a goal. We a goal should not be something that you know how to achieve. A goal is something that is so big. A goal is something that is going to require faith. It's going to require a step process, a stepping process where you have to pursue something, but you have no idea how. You have no idea how it's going to happen. You want to know one of the biggest reasons for that?
Why?
Failure. You need failure in the pursuit of a goal. Did you know that?
Yes, but failure hurts.
Failure can hurt, but here's the reality. If your goal is not big enough that you won't have failure, if you have to have failure in your goal process, in your pursuit of a goal, you have to have failure. Why?
Well, like John says, it's a learn. You learn as you go. You fail forward.
That's true. The elements, though, of the ingredients of success, you have to be doing enough that not everything's going to win. A big part of success is weeding out what doesn't work. It's weeding out. It's getting rid of the things that don't work. That's why we have to set a goal big enough. We have to set a goal that we have no idea how we're going to achieve. And then we have to pursue it with all of our might from every different angle. And then we're going to identify the things that don't work.
Well, and I know that's one of my big struggles is, working on something and you think that you're working hard on it, and I will take my health and my weight loss, and you work really hard and you think what you're doing is the right way, and then it doesn't work, or you've put on 2 pounds, and in my mind, it's like, well, this isn't working anyway. I give up. I quit.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to figure out, okay, so what do I need to pivot and change? What do I need to do differently? Which road do I need to take? Which, it's just like, well, it's not working anyway. Just hand me the Twinkie.
So is your goal big enough?
Well, I think so. It's just the getting there part that, I see the goal. I see where I want to be.
You struggle with the failure.
I struggle with the failure.
Yeah. If you don't fail, though, you don't see the value of a win. Did you know that?
Yeah, because then you would expect it, I think.
Yeah, that's a big one. You have to set a goal that you have no idea how you're going to achieve. Jim Collins wrote in the book Good to Great, he called this the BHAG goal, the big, hairy, audacious goal. And when you understand that you have to set big, hairy, audacious goals if you're going to be successful in life, that's a big deal. I think one of my favorite stories in that book was the CEO of Walgreens. And a lot of people don't know that Walgreens used to be a restaurant. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they used to serve food. And it was actually in fact, it was their biggest revenue generator, was serving food in their stores. And they made a lot of money. They're by far the biggest income stream company-wide was their restaurant business. And the CEO came in one day, and he's looking into the future, and he's watching the trends, and he made a statement at one of the company meetings. He said, in 5 years, I want every restaurant to be closed, and every food division within Walgreens that they had at the time would be closed, and they would focus on being this local pharmacy on every block in every community. They wanted to have that walk-in, easy accessibility to the pharmaceutical environment. But they were closing down their food business. And everybody thought this guy was nuts. And he said, every one of my executives in this company, they had 5 years to completely shut down every restaurant here. The executives left that meeting thinking this guy was off his rocker, and they didn't do anything about it. They're responsible for bringing revenue into the company. At their 6-month meeting, 6 months later, one of the executives said, yeah, I can't believe that this is, we're supposed to be closing down the restaurants. It's, we have 5 years to get this done. And the CEO piped up. He overheard this conversation. He overheard it, and he said, no, you had 5 years 6 months ago. You now have 4 years and 6 months to get this done, or you are out of a job. You're done. And I thought that was an amazing, amazing story on setting a big goal, putting something out there in front of your team, and pursuing it diligently on a timeline. He was not micromanaging them, but he very much told them, you're going to achieve this. And then, only then, did they realize how serious he was, and they started making plans to shut down that department. But that's a big, hairy, audacious goal. Your best income generator, you're going to shut down. That's a big deal.
Right.
So I think that's part of what we're talking about here. You set goals. If you set a goal you know you can achieve, where's the real value in that? Where's the win? Because
Right.
that was a huge risk that he took. But as you read later on in the book, it was a huge win. I mean, it was a huge deal for them. So mistake number 2, you ready for that one?
Sure.
Mistake number 2 in goal setting, you set a goal based on a plan you think you can achieve by looking at the plan. So when you set a goal based on a plan that you already have in place, the problem is the plan precedes the goal. If you're setting your goal based on a plan that you've used in the past or that you've recently created, which one do you think is going to trump? The goal or the plan? Which one's going to come in top? Which one's going to be most important to you? The goal or the plan?
It should be the goal.
Should be.
To me, it gets to be the plan. I get in the weeds of the plan.
If you set your goals based on a plan, you will follow the plan. What's the problem with setting a goal based on a plan?
I'm going to guess plans change.
We live in a constantly changing world. The whole world around us changes. And if we are always adjusting our goals based on the plans that we think are right, how often are we going to be right? That's something we have to think about. Every day that we're learning and growing, we should not be we need to have a plan after we set a goal, because you have to create something. You have to create a process, but you create the plan after you set the goal.
Right.
Right? And then you create a plan that moves you towards that goal. But when things start falling apart and things start becoming a real struggle, do you change the goal or do you change the plan? Which one should you change?
The plan.
The plan.
Whew.
Do you know how many people go the other direction? They'll say, oh, that's too big of a goal. I'm just going to lower the goal. I'm going to set a more realistic goal, but I'm going to follow my plan. My plan is right. The goal is wrong.
Right.
That's a problem.
Well, I think one of the issues with that is, and maybe this is you're going to talk about this. I know we don't. It's 10 till already.
My goodness, time flies.
But is discussing being specific with our goals, being specific about what it is that you want to achieve, And here again, with the weight loss thing, you can't just say, I want to lose weight. You have to be more specific so you can see those goals. You can see them more specific than just, I want to eat healthier. What does that mean? And break it down a little bit. And should we see if anybody's going to?
Yeah, why don't you move the name list there so you can, and if anybody's on Zoom, those of you that are on Zoom, feel free to jump in, raise your hand, and we'll bring you into the queue here so we can listen to you, but just move it out of the way. So we can see anybody that raises their hands. And then if you guys have things you want to talk about, you're on Zoom, by all means jump in here. If you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, if you're watching this live stream, you can comment in the chat. I don't see the chat box right now, but we can definitely follow up with you if you've got comments. But let's keep going because, like you said, it's already 10 till.
Oh,
You
I
hear
don't.
that thunder
I was
out
going to
there?
say, can you hear it raining?
It's
It
raining.
is absolutely pouring
It's
right
raining.
at the
It's
moment.
thundering out there. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mistake number 3. Mistake number 3. Let's review first. Number 1, you set a goal you know you can achieve. Number 2 mistake is you set a goal based on a plan that you already have. Now, number 3, you set a goal and you know how you're going to achieve the goal. So you already have the how laid out. That's very similar to the plan. But if you know how you're going to achieve a goal, even if you don't have a plan, but you know how in your mind, subconsciously, consciously, if you know how you're going to achieve a goal, that is a problem with your goal setting. Why do you think that is, Rebecca? Why is it a problem to know how you're going to achieve a goal?
I think you like to put me on the spot here.
The joy.
I think it goes back to that. I guess for me, it goes back to the planning because, as you know how I am, and other people probably do too, when there's an idea or something that we discuss doing with our business, what's my question all the time is, how do we do that?
How? Yeah. What's the problem, though, with focusing on the how?
In my mind, there isn't one. But I know there is one because I get too caught up in that.
The thing is, the challenge with having to know how. If you're one of these people who struggles with saying, I don't know how I'm going to achieve it, therefore I'm not going to pursue it. If you struggle with that, you're going to have struggles with growth, consistently improving.
Right.
Because you don't know anything. I mean, go back to when you were a child. When you were a child, you'd set goals and you didn't even know it. I mean, you would set a goal to walk and you didn't even realize it, right? But you never quit. You never stopped the learning. You never stopped the growth. You never stopped in the pursuit. But you had no idea how to walk when you started walking. You had no idea how to talk when you started talking. You had no idea how to do the things that you do today at some point in time in history.
Right.
You had no clue. It's like we talked about in our sales training the other day when we were talking about meeting new people. You know, at some point in time, every single person in your life was a cold contact. Every single person in your life was a cold contact at some point. And that's the thing that we need to understand is every human being, from the time they enter the world and they fall into the arms of their mother or into the arms of their doctor or their father, whoever the first person is to hold them, even that person was a cold contact. And every single person that we have met in our lives at some point in time was someone we didn't know.
All right.
And the same is true when we start thinking about achieving a goal. We have to set a goal that we have no idea how we're going to achieve. And then we have to pursue that goal with all of our diligence. We have to pursue that goal by changing the plan, changing our thinking, changing the elements, because that's how you learn the how. You learn the how in the journey. The joy of the journey is where you're going to learn the how. And that is what you want to be, that's what you want to learn. You don't know anything until you've done it. And you know, in agriculture, we all see so many different farmers doing so many different things. We see people in different places doing different things. And the thing that I've learned about excuse me, the thing that I've learned about the agriculture world is in the space of competition. In the space of competition, the only person that we can really compete with is ourselves, right?
All right.
We can't compete with another field. I mean, the field has to compete with itself because it can't move. It's standard, it's fixed, it's set. The ideas that we have in any given parameter with any in this space, it's fixed, it's set, right? We don't know how until we move towards it. Until we look at our past and we look at potential, leave performance in the past, look at potential. I look at potential over performance every single day. Performance is history. Potential is yet to be realized. We have to set a goal big enough that forces us out of our comfort zone to pursue potential. That's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to grow. So the goal has to be big enough to do that. We only have a few more minutes. Number 4, you question the right to be, do, or have what you set your goal to be. This is something that a lot of people struggle with because they struggle with self-worth. They struggle with the value of themselves based on something that has been pushed on them in the past. You deserve to pursue a great goal. You absolutely do. Go back in all of history, the greatest leaders in the history of the world, from some of the oldest writings that we have ever found, they struggled sometimes with who they were, but they understood the value of life. They understood the value of who they are. They understood how important it was to be, number one, you're a human being. They understood the value of being. They understood the value of doing. And they understood the value of having. They also understood that to be, to do, and to have is something that you could control, that you had value, that created value in your life and others. They also knew that it was not to let those things control them. They always were in control. And that is an element that we have to learn to understand. When we pursue something that's big enough, we reserve the right to be, to do, and to have that goal, as long as that thing, that outcome doesn't have us.
All right.
There's a big value there. And we want to be able to do that. Step number 5, the 5th mistake in goal setting. We believe that the achievement of the goal is the goal. If we set goals big enough, and we set goals that are out there, we don't know how we're going to achieve them. The real value of setting that goal is the pursuit of the goal and who you become in the pursuit of the goal. If you pursue a goal that's big and you pursue it with everything that you are, and if you miss it by 50%, but you grow substantially, that is a massive, massive win.
Yeah.
But if you set a goal you know you can achieve and you don't achieve it, how do you feel? You feel like crap.
Yeah.
And you don't want to set another goal.
Right.
You don't want to do it again. But if you set a goal that's big enough and you become the person that's worthy of that goal and pursue it with everything that you're worth, then you may not quite hit it, but the growth that you achieve in the process is so amazing. So amazing.
Well, and I know through that process you have to work on your mindset, because how many times do you tell yourself, well, I'm not going to reach it anyway. I can't reach it. It's too big. You know, as you're going through it, and you keep your eye on that goal, but then about halfway through it, you're like, yeah, I set that too high. I can't do it. And so what does that do to your mindset? Instead of looking forward to that goal, you take a couple steps back.
You actually are believing that you don't deserve it.
Right.
You're actually starting to believe at that point that you shouldn't have it.
Right.
And your belief system starts to break down. This is a massive problem.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, if you're on Zoom, feel free to jump in and share your thoughts with us. If you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, put a comment out there. We'd love to hear from you. But yeah, let's start thinking about wrapping this up. What was your big takeaway from this morning, Rebecca?
Just for me, I guess, knowing where to keep my head in the game. You know, there are going to probably be setbacks. There are probably going to be stumbling blocks along the way to reaching that goal. But it's what you do with it and how you think about it.
You're always going to have roadblocks. You're going to have setbacks.
Yeah.
There's not a human being on the planet that doesn't go through that.
Yep.
The question is, what are you going to do with it?
Right.
What are you going to do with it? And there's this old saying, I don't know who gets credit for it, but there's this old saying that, you know, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it,
Right.
how you respond to it. Because there are things in your life you cannot stop. You know, it just rained outside. We had no control over it.
Right.
There's so many things in your life you have zero control over. But the things that you do have control over, do you maximize your potential with them? Do you maximize your potential on the things that you can control? You and I, we have an old business partner that was a very, very, very large farmer, and 30,000 plus acres, and that was his big deal. Remember, every time we talked to him, he would say, "Control what you can control. Stop worrying about. Stop thinking about. Stop investing time, even considering changing the things you cannot control." And he said, put all of your effort into controlling what you can control. Because if there's things out of your control, it's absolutely a waste of your time to think that you have the ability to change it.
Yep.
Control what you can control. And that is I think that's a great way to start ending this segment, thinking about goal setting. Control what you can control. Your goals, your beliefs, start setting them out there. Set them big. Set them strong. Set an amazing goal that you don't know how you're going to achieve, and pursue it with all your worth. Pursue it with every ounce of your potential. Your performance is there to back you up, but your potential is yet to be revealed.
Yep.
So that's
All
my
right.
take on
Any
it.
comments from our Zoom people? Anybody want to share anything?
Got a good crowd on there. Love it.
All right, guys. Well, have a great week. Enjoy your week. Hopefully everyone has a good week.
Make it awesome. God bless everybody. We'll see ya.